Hey, welcome back to Leah's Leaves. Today we are winter sowing. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a greenhouse. The one thing about winter sowing to be mindful of is this isn't the same as seed starting. So you don't want to use just coconut husk coir or peat moss, which are the most common ingredients in something called seed starting mix. What you want is actual soil, and you want it to have some nitrogen, potassium, and phosphate in it, because your plants are going to stay in that jug all the way up to the day they go in their final destination, in the ground, in a raised bed, or in a container. So they can't just have water and sunlight. They're going to need nutrition in order to grow. So what I do is I get a potting mix. I mix in coconut coir because it helps to aerate the soil, keep it loose. And then I'll mix in a couple of amendments, perlite and vermiculite. The perlite aerates the soil and gives the roots space to grow, and the vermiculite retains moisture. And then I'll put in a little bit of a granulated fertilizer. I'll just make a big tub of this soil that I'm going to use for all of my jugs and mix in, about a half a cup per tub of granulated fertilizer, so that there's a slow release fertilizer already mixed in with the soil. And for the next couple of months while these plants are growing, they're going to break the soil surface, they'll develop their cotyledon leaves, and then they'll form their first true leaves. And then I'm going to leave them in that jug, and they're going to grow till about 4 or 5 inches tall until they're ready to be transplanted out. So I want them to have plenty of nutrition to carry them through that season. Okay? Because the jug is a greenhouse that's only starting the plants, but it's not their final destination, you can sow your seeds more thickly than it would say on the packet. Even for a plant that says, 2 inches apart, if you were planting it in its final position, then you would want to honor the plant spacing. But today I'm planting leeks, and I'm just going to put a bunch of seeds. You can see how many I have here. And that's just one kind of. Planted some American flag leeks on the left side of my jug, and now I'm going to plant these Caranton leeks on the other side, and I'm just gonna spread them around, and they'll be in there. I'll scratch them in a little bit like that, and then I'll put the last little remnant of soil from my container on top and give that a good fluff. And then the last thing I want to do is just press a little bit with the back of my hand so there's good soil contact with the seeds. I was able to get probably a good 35 to 40 leek seeds into that one jug. And they're going to be perfectly fine in there, crammed in. They'll be transplanted out before they're too big to be root bound. I hope you'll give winter sowing a try. I've been doing it for a few years now. It's a terrific way to get your perennial flowers and herbs, your hardy annuals, all of your brassicas, cole crops. Brassicas being, broccoli, cauliflower, kale, kohlrabi, Brussels sprouts, collards, and some other things. Turnips are in there. Rutabagas are all part of the same plant family, and they're cold tolerant. You can start your peas. You can start later. I'm starting my cold tolerant plants now in February outdoors, but in early April, about 6 to 8 weeks before my soil will be warm enough for my warm weather loving plants, I can start my sweet bell peppers, tomatoes. In May, 4 to 6 weeks before I plant everything out, I can start all of my squashes and cucamelons, cucumbers, beans, anything that loves warm weather. So this is a method that can work all the way up to the time that you're ready to transplant out these little greenhouses. Keep the lids handy in case you get a deluge of rain, so you can cover them if needed. Monitor their soil moistness. You want to keep them moist but not soggy. Make sure you've got the drain holes in the bottom of your jugs so that they drain properly, but you don't want holes that are so big that they dry out. So moist soil. Callie Kim, she's another YouTuber, great channel, but she always describes it as moist brownie mix. That's how wet you want your soil, especially when you put the seeds in. And check for your seed packets. Sometimes they'll tell you that you can get a head start on germination just by soaking your seeds in warm water for anywhere from 12 to 24 hours. And that'll even jumpstart the process more. And don't worry about cold, don't worry about snow, don't worry about rain. That's the whole point. These jugs are acclimating to the natural conditions of your growing environment, and those seeds will germinate when the exact time is right for them. Seeds know when to grow. As long as you keep the soil moist and keep them in the sunlight, that little greenhouse is going to grow your seeds. Just be patient, because cold temperatures, seeds germinate more slowly than when it warms up. But that's okay. That's the point. Let it run its natural course. You'll have a beautiful crop. I'm learning a lot. I'm sharing it here. Come grow with me. Bye. Well, hi, little garden gnome. How are you? Okay, bye.